What if the one thing you believe will somehow work itself out after your spouse is gone is the exact thing that makes those first months the most dangerous of your life? What if the real risk isn't just grief, but a silent collapse in routines, decisions, and identity that most people never prepare for? Because here's what almost no one tells you. The moment a spouse dies, something shifts that goes far beyond loss, and most seniors don't see it coming until it's already reshaping their health, their money, and their daily survival. Early signs show up quietly: a missed bill, a skipped meal, a night of broken sleep that turns into weeks, a simple decision that suddenly feels overwhelming. At first, it looks like normal grief, but something deeper is unfolding underneath, and if you don't understand what that is, you can't protect yourself from it. Let's step back, because this doesn't begin at 70. It starts decades earlier. In early adulthood, most couples naturally divide life into roles. One handles finances, the other manages the home. One tracks appointments, the other drives decisions. It feels efficient, logical, even loving. But over time, this division creates dependence, not obvious dependence, functional dependence. And it grows slowly, year after year. By the time you reach your 40s, those roles are deeply embedded. Research from U.S. household studies shows that in over 60% of long-term marriages, one partner manages the majority of financial decisions. The other often has limited involvement. That imbalance doesn't feel dangerous when both people are present, but it creates a hidden vulnerability, because now the system only works if both people remain in place. Then something else begins in the 40s. Cognitive load increases, responsibilities stack up, stress becomes chronic. And instead of expanding skills, most people narrow their focus. They double down on their assigned roles. The one who handles finances gets even deeper into it. The other steps further away. It feels natural, but it quietly reduces flexibility. Fast forward to after 70. This is where the shift most people ignore begins. Your brain processes stress differently. Decision-making slows under pressure. Emotional resilience becomes more fragile. And yet, life demands don't disappear. In fact, they become more complex. Medical choices, legal paperwork, financial planning. But here's the critical part. When one spouse dies, the surviving partner is suddenly forced to take on everything. Instantly. No transition, no training, no margin for error. And this is where the breaking point appears. It often happens within the first 6 to 12 months. Studies in the United States show that the risk of hospitalization for seniors increases significantly after the loss of a spouse. Mortality rates also spike, especially in the first year. That's not just grief, that's system overload. The routines collapse, sleep becomes irregular, nutrition declines, social circles shrink. And then the fallout spreads. Health begins to weaken, medical appointments get missed, medications become inconsistent, financial confusion sets in, bills are overlooked, accounts go unmanaged, lifestyle shrinks, days become quieter, movement decreases, isolation increases. And here's the part most people get wrong. They try to fix it using old advice: stay strong, keep busy, give it time. But those don't rebuild structure. They don't restore clarity. They don't replace what was lost. So, what actually works? There are 6 things every senior must do, not eventually, but deliberately, to survive and stabilize after losing a spouse. The first is immediate structure. You need a simple daily routine within days, not weeks. Wake time, meals, movement, sleep, because structure protects your brain from overload. Without it, everything starts slipping. The second is financial clarity. Even if it feels uncomfortable, you must understand your accounts, bills, and income sources. Confusion here creates long-term damage that compounds fast. The third is medical control. List your medications, schedule your appointments, know your doctors. After loss, health declines often come from neglect, not disease. The fourth is social anchoring, not random interaction. Intentional contact. At least to people you speak to regularly, Not just texting. Real conversation. Isolation accelerates decline more than most physical conditions. The fifth is role rebuilding. This is where most people struggle. You're not just replacing tasks, you're rebuilding identity. Who you are alone is different from who you were together. Ignoring this leads to long-term emotional stagnation. The sixth, and this is the one most people resist, is asking for help early. Not when things fall apart. Before they do, because waiting feels strong, but it creates unnecessary risk. Now here's the connection to today. Across millions of seniors in the United States, the pattern repeats. Those who adapt quickly stabilize, those who delay struggle longer, and the difference is rarely intelligence or strength. It's awareness and timing. So ask yourself this: if something changed tomorrow, would you be ready to manage your life alone? Not emotionally, practically. Because that's where most people are unprepared. And that's where the real danger lives. Here are 3 actions you can take today if you're over 60. First, learn one system you don't currently handle: finances, medications, or scheduling. Start small, but start now. Second, write down your daily structure. Don't leave it to memory. Make it visible. Third, build one strong connection outside your spouse, someone you can rely on. These steps don't just prepare you, they protect you. Now the warning: the biggest risk after losing a spouse is not the loss itself. It's the sudden absence of systems you didn't realize you depended on. Ignoring that reality doesn't make you stronger. It makes the transition harder. And one final thought: what if the strength you need later isn't built in the moment of loss, but quietly prepared in the years before it ever happens? If that made you think, then you're starting to see what most people miss. If this opened your eyes, take a second to like the video, share it with someone who needs it, and drop a comment with one thing you're going to take control of starting today. And if you want the next part, what actually happens psychologically in the first 90 days after loss, and how to avoid the most common mistakes, make sure you subscribe.